Okay, so I wasn't going to go finish this off, but I thought, why not? Why not finish this off and do another video? So we last left it, we just applied the modifier. If you want to get rid of a modifier, just come to this top part and just hit the click the X, and that's going to get rid of that for us, okay? And let's go back to the... Oh, it's not showing up because we're in object mode, so we need to go to edit mode. Let's carry on in front view. No, side view, because we're going to do the foot. Oops. So here we go. So we want to just have a look at what we've got here. So we've got these two parts. So let's go to face mode, grab both of those. That's what's going to be our foot. And let's go back into side view. And let's extrude this down. Simply. Easy. Extrude it down like that. And then let's go ahead and grab this front face. And because we're extruding, we don't need to be in wireframe, but I am going to go back into it. And this time, we're going to extrude and then taper or scale. So I'll grab the scale tools, scale it in like that, then grab the move tool, and we want that foot to be flat as possible. Right, like that, foot. Okay, now let's have a look at that with the model 3D. We need to pull out something around the back, and that also, if I just, like that. I want to set that up a little better. Now, what you can do for a foot, but this is a monkey foot, so I don't know. In fact, let's spread that back out again, because it's more like a monkey foot. All right, and then look at it from the side, and we want it to be straight. I don't think it is straight, so if we just grab the move tool, get that as straight as possible. There's a slight wonk on them as well, which isn't ideal, so I'm just going to get that out. Okay, well, that'll do for now. And then he's got some that comes out of the back a little bit, so I'm just going to grab the back one and go into the right view. I'm just going to drag that out and then scale it down. Like that, and then make sure it is flat as much as possible, like that. Okay. I believe if I just scaled that face in, that would probably work better. Not sure. Okay, that looks okay. So the feet are there. Now we want to go in and do the hands. So the same deal with the hands. We're going to select both of these faces. I'm going to come into wireframe mode. I'm going to go into front view. And then I'm going to extrude out. Oh, we've got multiple things selected here. So just select this. Okay, this foot is off at the front. So always look at the front. So we want to fix that. So let's go into wireframe. We're in wireframe. And we want to select. So if we hold down, we can select all that bottom foot. So if we go into the front view and rotate, we should be able to rotate that down a little flatter. Not too worried about it lining up exactly, but we do want it to be as flat as possible with this bottom plane. So there we go. Yeah, that looks okay. That looks better. But you can see now that we have loads of lines that don't meet up. And we might want to come in and actually, in fact, I'm going to do that now. Sometimes it's good when you just see a problem to just go and do it. So here we go. Grab this edge and then bring it up a bit. Yeah, that just looks a little better. Okay, there's still some kind of crazy wonk going on with those legs, but for now it should be fine. All right, so hands. Let's get back to the hands. So no, I need to be face select. Select the faces. Go into front view. First of all, I'm going to scale up this face, I think. No, that isn't face. I'm going to drag out but not too far, just like that, a wrist section. And then I'm going to scale up that, just like that, just a little bit. And then I'm going to extrude out from that to about there, so where the actual hand is, and then this next bit would be the fingers. But I'm going to scale that in slightly, and then extrude out again. I'm not going to go as far as the reference because I just think it doesn't look as good. I've done this a few times now. Okay, hand looking good, right? So now we need a thumb. Thumbs are easy. I'm going to go into wire mode. No, I'm going to go into 3D mode, and I'm going to place in a loop cut. Just going to quickly go back to wire mode and go into the front view. And then where you can zoom in, where the thumb would start, so about here, I'm going to put in a loop cut. And then I'm going to grab that face. Oh, I didn't go back into wireframe mode, so should still be. Okay, and then I'm going to grab this face. It's this face, I believe. And then we're going to extrude out. So let's just quickly go back into front view. So we want to extrude out to roughly the thumb. Look how big that is. So taper that down quite aggressively. In fact, what you might be best doing is just bringing out a little one first. Just a little like that. And then aggressively scaling that down. And then drawing your thumb out of that. So one part of the thumb there. Scale it down first before we move. Oops, that's rotating it. Back here and pull that out. Scale it. And then move it into place. It wants to be more like this, much more like this. And then once you do move, you oftentimes have to then go rotate the face to the way that you're going to want it. So make sure you do that, or you'll get really skew with geometry. That looks fine. It's fine. And then back to front view, and we're just going to do the same thing again. So we're just going to draw it out. Look, it's all bent. Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that looks great, actually. That doesn't look too bad. This is the thing. You are going to have to come out and have a proper look. Can't stay in front view. Scale that in. Okay, so that'll do for the hand for now. We could get animations out of that. Okay, I do not, though, put fingers in yet, okay? Because the rig we're going to make eventually is not going to have finger bones. It's just going to have a hand. All right, we're good for time. So let's get the head done. Something annoying me about these feet, though. But we're going to have to leave it. They'll look fine when they're textured, hopefully. Right, for the neck. Okay, so this character doesn't have a neck, luckily. So we don't even have to mess around with that. All we have to do is go into front view. Before we do that, though, let's grab the edges we want, or the faces. So face, this one, this one, this one, this one. I'm going to leave that shoulder, though. And then I'm going to go into side, front, and then wireframe. Oops. And then all I'm going to do is just drag that up, right? This is simple. So just, oops. Got more than one thing selected? No. So just to the top of the head. All right. And then I'm going to go in and put in a loop cut. And then I just put in 8 down here. And it gives me all the loop cuts I'm going to need. And then these, luckily, are directly in line. So when we go in and select these, we are just selecting. We are selecting through. So we'll get everything. See, it's moving it how we want it to. Right, which is perfect. So let's go back into this mode, this mode, this mode. We just drag these out to match the reference. Now, if you hate going between these two like I do, I think you can set up custom shortcuts in Blender. It's not something I've looked into yet, but it's something I'm going to do soon because I hate moving between these two. You know, if you could just set it up on the keyboard, it'd be much quicker. There are keyboard shortcuts for it, but it's something like Shift, Space, then press B, then do this, and it's like, well, I might as well just click this. Okay. So there he is. If he was like a gingerbread man or something, that'd look cool. But we're gonna put a bit. So we'll go into the side mode, and then we can put a bit of depth into his face as well, which we'll do now. So just same process. Same laborious process, but it does give you good results. Okay, I'll show you something else as well. If you accidentally come off this tool for some reason, because if you hold down the left mouse button over this arrow at the bottom, you'll get like oftentimes it goes on to tweak, right? Because you've clicked it too many times. So you can just hold that down and get back on there. Nicely. This head, like I say, is nicely lined up. We want to keep as much geometry in line with each other as possible so that we don't have those difficult, because this is a breeze when it's like this, right? You can just set it up so easily and it's just not difficult. It just takes a little while, but it ain't difficult. Ain't difficult at all. So just keep going with this. And the more loop cuts you put in, the more detail you'll get. But as you see, we're going to use the subsurface modifier thing anyway. So it's not like, because we're going to increase the detail in that way, not using extra, not us modeling more detail. We're just going to use that subsurface modifier. It smooths everything off for us and gives us more geometry as well. It literally creates more geometry. Okay, I'm going to put in another loop cut here in between these two so that I can get that shape better. So sometimes you will have to go in and add an extra loop cut just to get the desired shape. And what I'm going to do is select both of them at the same time. So this vertex and this vertex, move it down a little so it's into that bit of the neck there. I've also got to select this middle one. So they're all together. And move that down to about there-ish. Yeah. And then I can just go back in, select each individual one, and line that up again. The same with this one. All right. Okay, so there's our character. If we go now in, so we can see him in the shaded mode, go to object mode and then add a subdivision modifier, you can see how cool that looks. It takes all the bulkiness out of it, then feet look a lot better. I was just going to do a little experiment here because I want to keep a little bit of that blockiness in the arm so that you can see the difference between the upper and the lower arm. So if I just turn this off, or delete it, because you can't turn it off once it's applied, or once you just put it on. I'm going to go into wireframe mode, and I'm going to try and select just, oops, got to go back to edit mode. I'm going to try and select just this. Yeah, that looks like, looks like it's worked. Or in fact, just that. What if I scale that up? It might look daft in this. Scale, I'm going to have to do the, unless I just scale it on that, like that. Let's try doing that. I think I don't want that second bit select, the upper part of this edge selected. So if I just go there and select those, I didn't get them all. that one as well. All right. And now if I go to scale and just scale it on the Y and on the Z, so there's more. So it doesn't look great in this model, but when we go over, will we see more of it, or will it just smooth it off again? Just a bit of an experiment. So subdivision surface, yeah, we do see a little bit more of it, but also what we can do, I totally forgot, we can actually edit. Now we've done the subsurface division, we can now go and just edit in the mesh as much as we want. So if we did decide that we wanted a little bit more of this, I think we can just pull it up a bit, and then it'll give us, yeah, it'll do that in the subdivision below, which is good. So if I want that, I can just, okay, yeah, perfect. All right, so we can edit the subdivision while this is on, which is brilliant. So object mode, and now it's just give my arms that little kink in the arm. It's not in the reference, by the way. That's not in the reference. That's just something I've decided to do. Right, what time are we on? Okay, we're going to wrap this one up here, but I am going to do another video on how we can add a bit more detail to this, maybe add the face. All right, cool. Just give me a sec. Turn this off.